Join me as I take on the challenge of trying to get a Canadian visa as a USA student in just a few weeks. Obtaining a Canadian visa is a crucial step for US students who want to study or travel in Canada, and it's a topic that's highly relevant in today's world of education and travel. Many students are drawn to Canada's high-quality universities and vibrant culture, but the visa application process can seem daunting. Securing a Canadian visa can be a complex process, especially for US students who may not be familiar with the requirements. One common misconception is that the process is always slow and cumbersome, but that's not necessarily true. U.S. students often face challenges such as navigating the different types of visas, gathering required documents, and meeting the eligibility criteria. The uncertainty surrounding the application process can be frustrating, and many students may feel overwhelmed by the amount of paperwork and bureaucracy involved. U.S. students may also struggle to understand the nuances of the Canadian visa system, which can lead to delays or even rejection. The application process can be lengthy, and the waiting time can be unpredictable, which can cause anxiety for students who need to make travel plans. Furthermore, the eligibility criteria can be strict, and students may need to provide extensive documentation to support their application. The requirements for a Canadian visa can vary depending on the type of visa and the individual circumstances of the student. For example, students may need to provide proof of language proficiency, academic transcripts, and financial documents. The application process can be confusing, and students may need to seek guidance from immigration experts or consultants to ensure they meet all the requirements. There are several types of Canadian visas available to students, including study permits, work permits, and visitor visas. Each type of visa has its own application process and requirements, and students need to carefully consider which one is best for their needs. The study permit, for example, is required for students who want to study in Canada for more than 6 months. Students can apply online or through a paper application, and they need to provide supporting documents such as proof of acceptance from a Canadian university. The application process for a Canadian visa typically involves submitting an online application, paying the required fees, and providing supporting documents. Students can also use the services of an immigration consultant to help them navigate the process. Additionally, there are resources available to help students prepare their application, such as the official government website and online forums. By following the instructions carefully and providing all the required documents, students can increase their chances of a successful application. To expedite the approval process, students should ensure they meet all the eligibility criteria and provide complete and accurate documentation. They should also apply well in advance of their planned travel dates to allow for processing time. Some students have reported success with expedited processing options, such as express entry or priority processing, which can significantly reduce the waiting time. One success story that stands out is that of a U.S. student who was able to get a Canadian visa in just 2 weeks by using an expedited processing service. This student had all the required documents in order and applied through a reputable immigration consultant, which helped to streamline the process. By being prepared and taking advantage of available resources, students can increase their chances of a successful and speedy application. Some powerful tips that can help shorten the waiting time include ensuring that all documents are complete and accurate, using an expedited processing service, and applying through a reputable immigration consultant. Students should also make sure they meet all the eligibility criteria and follow the instructions carefully to avoid delays or rejection. By being proactive and seeking guidance when needed, students can navigate the application process with confidence. In conclusion, getting a Canadian visa as a U.S. student can be achievable in a relatively short period, and the benefits of studying or traveling in Canada are well worth the effort. With the right guidance and resources, students can navigate the application process and achieve their goals. It's easy to get lost in the sea of paperwork, deadlines, and requirements, especially when you're already juggling a busy academic schedule. This is where many students throw in the towel and give up on their plans to visit Canada. But fear not, because we're about to break down the process into manageable chunks, so you can focus on more important things, like planning your trip. With this guide, you'll be well on your way to successfully applying for a Canada visitor visa and making the most of your trip. The Canadian government has strict rules in place to ensure that visitors, including students, comply with their regulations, and it's crucial to understand these rules before submitting your application. Failure to comply can result in delays or even rejection, and we'll dive deeper into the common pitfalls to avoid later in this video. For now, let's focus on getting started with the right mindset and a clear understanding of what lies ahead. Remember, applying for a Canada visitor visa requires patience, attention to detail, and a bit of perseverance. Stay calm, stay focused, and we'll get through this together. You've got this. We will explore the eligibility requirements, necessary documents, and the application process for a Canada visitor visa tailored specifically for U.S. students. From understanding the different types of visas to gathering the required documents, we'll leave no stone unturned. To apply for a Canada visitor visa, you'll need to meet certain eligibility requirements, including having a valid passport, proof of financial support, and a clear intention to return to the U.S. after your visit. You may also need to provide additional documentation, such as proof of enrollment or a letter of invitation from your host in Canada. We'll discuss the specific documents required and how to prepare them. The online application process can be tricky, especially for those who are not tech-savvy, but don't worry, we'll walk you through it step by step. From creating an online account to submitting your application, we'll cover it all. And, of course, we'll also discuss the fees associated with the application process and how to make your payment. As a U.S. student, you may be eligible for an Electronic Travel Authorization, or ETA, which is an electronically stored authority for travel to Canada. We'll explore the differences between an ETA and a traditional visitor visa, so you can make an informed decision about which option is best for you. The key insight will be how to avoid common pitfalls during the application process that could lead to delays or rejections. One of the most common mistakes students make is submitting incomplete or inaccurate applications, which can lead to a lengthy delay or even rejection. We'll discuss how to avoid this mistake and other common errors that could cost you valuable time and money. Another mistake students make is not providing sufficient proof of financial support, which is essential for demonstrating your ability to support yourself during your stay in Canada. We'll explore the different ways to prove financial support, including bank statements, proof of income, and sponsorship letters. Many students also struggle with the concept of ties to the U.S., which is an essential requirement for obtaining a Canada visitor visa. We'll discuss how to demonstrate your strong ties to the U.S., including proof of enrollment, employment, or family ties. Finally, we'll discuss how to prepare for the interview, should you be required to attend one. From common interview questions to tips for making a good impression, we'll cover it all. To wrap up, we will summarize the essential steps and tips for successfully applying for a Canada visitor visa as a U.S. student. Don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments below and check out our other videos for more helpful tips on studying and traveling abroad.